Hello, welcome to our YouTube channel, Traveling Texans. My name is Alex. I'm going to give you a little background about who I am and how I came up with this page and checklist. So, my husband and I are still very new to the cruise industry and traveling abroad. It's just my husband and I. We really enjoy cruises. It's definitely one of our favorite ways to vacation because of everything being included, such as your food, drinks, entertainment. I came up with this list after our first cruise. It was our honeymoon. I had done a little research prior but felt underprepared. So when we booked our second cruise, it was over 2 years in advance. So I had a lot of time to kind of explore the internet and look all over, YouTube, Pinterest, blogs, forums for cruise communities. And I came up with this comprehensive list of everything that people usually suggest, and then all the extras that you see, the 27 things, 10 things, 15, whatever it is, that make cruising a little easier or just makes things go a little smoothly. My husband and I, like I said, we booked this 2 years in advance, and then along the way we managed to convince my husband's family to join us. So it was our second and their first. I gave them this checklist and it must have worked because I never heard anything like, oh, I really wish that we would have looked at this other list or compared or brought these products or, you know, extra this, extra that. I never heard any of that. So it was a pretty good confirmation for me that it worked. So to begin, I have your typical clothing suggestions here at the top for men and women. Your t-shirts, all that. I do have a story about men. You do have to wear sleeves in the main dining room or MDR. My poor husband, I guess I forgot from our first cruise. It was kind of chaotic on our first one. So we only went one time to the main dining room for elegant night. And of course he wore a nice shirt. And so we never went in there again. So on our second cruise on the Carnival Dream this past November, he showed up in a sleeveless tank, and the maitre d' at the front door there said, "Hey, you got to wear some sleeves." And my husband was fine about it. So he ran upstairs to the room, went and changed, put some sleeves on, and it was fine. We were eating 10 minutes later, no big deal. But just remember, you do have to wear sleeves in the main dining room. At least that's how it was on the Carnival Dream this past November. I have on here also a hat and summer dress. This is just a forewarning. It is windy on deck. So make sure that, you're holding on to it. One deck you may be fine, but you come up to the next and it blows your hat or your skirt around, and you just want to make sure that you hold on to it. Even if you go around to the front of the ship to kind of get a look at the ocean in front of you, it's very windy up there, so just hold on to everything. Next is light jacket or sweater. It gets pretty chilly at night. So if you're going to be walking around or you're going to be in the casino, a theater, watching a show, it gets kind of chilly. So it's nice to have something to snuggle up with when you're out there on Lido. You're at the deck party or you're trying to watch a movie, just something to kind of keep you warm. Comfortable shoes. I know that on Carnival, you can read the past reviews of other people that have taken this particular excursion that maybe you're looking at, and they will make suggestions like, you might want to wear covered shoes or closed-toed for this part of the excursion because it's really gravelly or it's hard to walk in the terrain with flip-flops or sandals. So they may make a suggestion for closed-toed shoes. Toiletries. Prescriptions, I know specifically for cruises that you don't have to bring the prescriptions in the bottle. You can use a daily or weekly pill organizer to kind of keep everything organized for you. If you're flying, I do know that you have to follow airline rules, and they say you have to bring it in a prescription bottle. So just make sure you follow airline rules if you're going to be flying in. Then you have your other typical stuff on here, styling products, lotion, toothbrush, toothpaste, all that. One that I have here is a sewing kit. I use a really cool website called minimus.biz. It's a website that has tons and tons of travel size products. So there's a travel sewing kit, there's travel sunscreen packets, there's all these over-the-counter medicines, and it's a really cool website to use to get your over-the-counter medicines and your travel size stuff all in one place that maybe you can't find, or you want a specific product that isn't in stores. Flat iron, curling iron. You are allowed to bring these, to straighten your hair, curl your hair. A lot of people confuse that with like a clothes iron or a steamer. You're not allowed to bring those two items, but you can bring your hairstyling tools, your flat iron, curling iron. Blow dryer. So we were on the Carnival Dream this past November, and we were in an interior, and the hair dryer in there was about the hair dryer in there was hotel quality blow dryer. It didn't really work that well. It was plugged in, so you had about 24 inches from where it was. It was on a coiled cord that you could do your hair and style it. So it was just kind of a pain. Just that you can bring your own blow dryer. It's no big deal. Shampoo and body wash. Carnival provides shampoo and body wash in the bathrooms, but they too are kind of low quality hotel products. They dry out my skin, they dry out my hair, so I just bring something from home, something that my body's used to, and it keeps me moisturized. Miscellaneous. This is specifically the area that I tried to put everything, the additional suggestions that I would read on the internet. I tried to include it here in this area. So a mini hand sanitizer, I carry two. I carry one in my crossbody that I use on the ship, and it goes everywhere with me. And then one goes in our excursion bag as we're out and about. A lint roller. I myself have 4 pets, so not only do they travel with me in my heart, they travel with me on my clothes. They've been as many places as I have. So I just use a lint roller before, going to dinner because I want to look nice and neat. Poncho, watch the weather. Um, it's nice to have in your excursion bag just in case some random downpour comes. It keeps you and your stuff dry, and they don't take up much room. Downy wrinkle release is definitely one that I see on the internet. You can bring a big bottle, a small bottle. What we do is as soon as we get to our room, we take all of our stuff out of our bags, hang it up, because we don't want to be living out of a suitcase. And we spray wrinkle release, put it in the closet, and then anytime one of us takes a shower, we'll take a garment in there to kind of help steam release any of the wrinkles out of it. Lanyard. We were against it the first time, but the second time we bought some on ship, they're red, they say Carnival on it. And they had the release at the bottom that you could take off and hand to a bartender. They'll give you your card right back instead of having to take it on and off every time to hand it over. It was kind of nice. First aid kit. You're in the middle of the ocean, so you can't just run somewhere and get items that you need for a headache or you have an upset stomach. And I've heard that on ship, they're pretty expensive for like a 20 count of cough drops. It's like, $6 or $8. That's pretty expensive when I could have just packed a small packet from the Dollar Tree with me ahead of time. So definitely try to include things, your typical Band-Aids, Neosporin, Imodium for stomach, Tums, headache stuff. And we went in winter, so we definitely wanted to include our cold meds and cough drops. And then I would also highly recommend allergy pills. Have some Benadryl on hand, or your daily allergy pills. You're visiting another country, and their allergens are different than what you're used to at home. Ziplocs, I use these. I carry different sizes. Small ones, a sandwich zip top, or a quart size to keep sand off my phone, a gallon size to separate wet and dry clothes, and I use the small ones too for collecting sand and shells. Make sure that you clean your shells out well. There's no ocean life in them before bringing them back on ship. Technology, definitely want to have all your chargers for whatever you're bringing. Just make sure that you're packing those as well. Extra plug adapters and extension cords, they must be non-surge protected. We were on the Carnival Dream in an interior, and our room had one outlet in the vanity and then one outlet in the bathroom. And here I made this big old list, and I was the one that forgot an item, and I forgot our plug adapters. And it was fine. It was just kind of tricky making sure to have one phone charged at all times, and then maybe having one charging in the bathroom, and I'm trying to keep my hair tools warmed up and trying to use them at the same time. So it was just my mistake, and I'll remember next time to bring my plug adapters. Travel documents. We live in the North Texas Panhandle, so we took a nice long drive to Galveston, 14 hours. So obviously we had our driver's license. But we also had our passports made this past summer of 2019, and it was really nice. It made check-in really easy. You just show them your picture, and they scanned it, and then it uses your passport photo for your ID, your sign-in cell card on Carnival. So that's kind of nice. I like that picture of my passport. Of course, remembering to print off everything, your boarding passes, your cruise itinerary, those things. Specifically, want to talk about the debit and credit cards. This is a reminder that you need to call your credit card company or your bank to let them know that you're traveling. They will shut your card down. It happened to my husband in Mexico on our honeymoon. We forgot to call. You give them a range of dates and where you'll be going, and they'll mark it and make a note in the system, and then your card won't get shut down. Purchase services. That would be your excursions, any packages you bought, the cheers, bubbles. I know that there's other packages that Carnival offers online. I would just print those out just to make sure that you have proof of something that was bought, and you're not sitting there at guest services saying, no, I had it, no, I had it. You actually have something in hand to say, I have it. It's not just hearsay. And emails too, if you do a price check or a price check guarantee where you've got some extra credits because you found something lower, definitely print those out so they know how much you're supposed to have. Mistakes happen, so just have some proof. Electronic copies. I use a Mac. I specifically know that I can do this on my MacBook Air. I'm not sure about Microsoft. I'm sure it's one YouTube video away to figure out if you can. But I scanned in all my important documents, my license, my birth certificate, and my passport. And I made copies of all those, and I password protected it. I put it in another file, and I password protected that. And then I put it in my Google Drive. So everything is protected. And then if, God forbid, I manage to leave my passport at home, I already have my driver's license, then I could find somewhere wherever I'm leaving out of to go and print a legible, clear copy of my birth certificate that I have already scanned. And, you can go to a library or FedEx, UPS, a hotel, a business center, and print it out real quick, and then you're still good to go. You're not having to call anybody to say, oh my gosh, I need you to go find this. Things to consider. If you're 21 and older, you are allowed to bring one bottle of wine or champagne. It has to be 750 milliliters or less. I don't know why you would bring less, but you are allowed that, and that's for the whole trip. You're not allowed to pick up more and bring it back to your cabin to drink. You're allowed to buy alcohol other places, and then when you get back on board, they'll take it from you, put your cabin number on it, and you'll pick it up the last day on ship at debarkation. Canned non-alcoholic beverages. It's a 12-pack of soda or juice per person per cabin. So if you have your 7-month-old, your 8-year-old, yourself, and your other travel companion, each one of you can bring a 12-pack, and it can be mixed matched. So 2 of one kind, 4 of one kind, as long as it equals 12-pack per person. Folder with prongs. I use this to keep all of my documents organized. It's our boarding passes, it's our itinerary, it's our credits, anything that we made a reservation for, maybe through Carnival or outside of Carnival, just to kind of keep it all together so that if I'm running behind, my husband knows that he can go and find this folder and he's going to find what he needs for this cruise. Clear packing tape. I definitely had this in my bag because we were bringing on Cokes, and the workers open it up to check to make sure you're not sneaking anything else on, like beer. So I like the Pin and Gear hand tear tape from Walmart. It's a little thicker than your normal clear tape, so you can find the end easy, and then I'm not worried about slicing my finger on the metal blade and bleeding or whatever and being hurt. It was just nice to have. Just throw it in your bag. Plastic bags would be like your Walmart bags to keep wet and dry clothes separated if you wanted. Your insulated cups, this is just so that you're not having to go back and forth 100 times. The cups on board, I would be willing to bet are about 8 ounces, and if you fill it with ice, then you're getting even less drink in your cup. So we just used a bigger cup to prevent us from going back and forth. You can go to Lido and fill up your cup and then fill it with your Cokes. And then you're also allowed to tell your steward, say, hey, I would really like a bucket of ice in my room if you wouldn't mind. And they'll get it for you. And that way you can just fill up your cup in your room and make your drinks there. Sealable water bottle would be like your Camelback, something that maybe has a flip top or a straw. We fill it with ice and water before we go out and about. We actually bought the plastic luggage tag holders for this last trip. I got them from eBay. I think it came in a pack of 6. I gave one to my brother-in-law, and he really liked it because he was worried that the paper one that you print off, it says that you can staple it or tape it. He was afraid it was going to tear off. So it was nice to kind of have something that made us feel a little more confident that we weren't going to lose our luggage. And I know people will laminate it with tape too. But, it was just easier for us to buy the plastic luggage tag holders. I think they're $1 each. Bungee cord for Cokes. I will include a video on this too of how we attach the Cokes to our roll-on carry-on. It made it easy and hands-free. We didn't have to worry about like lugging this relatively fragile box of Cokes now because it's been opened. We could just wrap it to our carry-on and it was easy, good to go. Detergent pods and travel sink wash. Detergent pods, if you want to do laundry on board, there's usually a laundrette somewhere on each floor. You can always look at a map or ask a room steward and say, hey, I need this. I like the travel sink wash specifically from Tide, mostly because I haven't seen any other brand. But that's for like if you just want to do maybe a swimsuit or maybe a shirt, you need it washed right then and there. You just fill up your sink, you have the little tablet, you wash it, swish it around, and then it creates your own little laundry mat right there in your bathroom, and you can clean it up and get it smelling good again. I also got that from minimus.biz. Wristwatch, your phones can change. Just have something that maybe isn't going to change every time you go into a different time zone. You're following ship time, not local time. So this just made me feel better of, well, is it really 2 o'clock or is it 3 o'clock? Have I missed my ship or am I okay? It just made me feel a little more at ease. Again, I'm a big worrier. So just have something that maybe you're not having to worry about. Did I do this right? I hope it didn't change. Okay. And then I have here also the shoe organizer. It's probably the number one suggestion that people tell you to bring. If you have a large family, I would suggest the big 24 or 36 pocket one. But when it's just 2 people, like my husband and I, we brought one on our first cruise and it never left the bag. So this next time I thought about it and I thought, well, I still want that, but I just don't want it as big. And I actually found a 6-pocket mesh shower organizer. I got it at Dollar General for $2.50. That way I have the pockets to keep everything off the vanity and off the bathroom counter, and it still kept everything organized. It just wasn't as big and bulky. Like I said, it was $2.50. It was nice to have. And lastly, one that I have seen maybe only once or twice is clothespins. I would bring 6 to 8. It helps weigh down the shower curtain. They tend to cling to your leg as you're taking a shower. So it just kind of helps it weigh it down, and then you have an additional, 3 or 4 there to hang your swimsuits to dry on the dry line in the bathroom. And lastly, here at the bottom, these are the websites and stores I use, Walmart, Academy, Amazon, all those. Dollar General and Dollar Tree are lifesavers for other travel necessities that, you just want the travel size over-the-counter medicine from there. But I really did like this minimus.biz. There are a lot of items that I couldn't find in store, but I wanted to bring with us. So Again, it's those over-the-counter medicines. It's a Vicks vapor rub that's in a smaller container than a big one. It's sting relief. It's allergy pills and just the one or two tablets in a packet. And I think if you buy $20 or more, you get free shipping. It sounds harder than it is because everything is like 12 cents, 18 cents. So you may end up buying more, but as you use it, you can refill it. So that's all I have for this cruise checklist. If you have any other suggestions or comments or questions, if you're like, well, I've heard this or that, can you confirm? I'll gladly answer anything in the comments below. I appreciate you looking at my page, and if you have anything else to say, let me know. Thank you.